G'day everyone, welcome to Inside Rugby with Mark. If you're new to the channel, my name's Mark. I'm a Kiwi rugby fan living in Mexico and I love talking about the beautiful game. Thanks to everybody who joined the live chat yesterday we went for 2 hours. It was a great chat, some brilliant questions from you all, and I am going to do more of those from time to time, so stay tuned for more of that. I think we'll cap them at 60 minutes so everybody can get some sleep and not have to wake up too early. But if we know we're going to go for 60 minutes, you can get your questions out there and we can plan our days around it as well. But thank you very much if you did turn up to the live chat yesterday. If you haven't seen it, it's actually posted online, so you can go and check it out. But in this video, I'm going to talk about the Wallabies against Los Pumas, that other game that's been played this weekend. And I think it's going to be probably just as important, if not more important, than the All Blacks against the Springboks at Eden Park. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why. So let's get into it right now. Now, Townsville, if you haven't been there or you don't know much about it, it's in Far North Queensland. It's north of Brisbane. It's south of Cairns. It's the gateway to the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. And if you're a sailor like I am, there's some beautiful islands off the coast of Townsville where you can spend some majestic days sailing and enjoying the beautiful winds they have up in that part of the world. But if you're a rugby player going to Townsville in September, you're most likely going to be playing in around about 30 degrees Celsius. So this could be something that is big for this game, with the Los Pumas team coming out of a chilly, cold Argentina weather system into a hot climate in tropical North Queensland. It could be a little bit of a test of their stamina because the game's kicking off at 2:30 in the afternoon as well. For the Aussies, of course, they should be used to it, and after getting some of their injuries over and done with, the Aussies... Okay, so let's check out the two teams now, give you my thoughts and opinions, and we'll start off with Los Pumas. And not too many changes here. If we have a look at the forwards, we've got Sclavi coming in at prop to match up with Vivas and Montoya. We've got Molina and Rubiolo in there at the locks. And we've got Juan Martin Gonzalez along with Creamer on the flanks. And at number 8, in this game, we're going to see Pablo Matera. So Oviedo is pushing down to the bench for this game. That's a pretty good strategy, I think, from Felipe Contepomi. So a really good pack. The Wallabies have got a good pack as well. So this is going to be one of those interesting battles up front. Are the Pumas going to be able to bring that intensity that we saw against the All Blacks? That was a stunning performance by the 8 against the All Blacks. Are they going to be able to keep the consistency that we all talk about when it comes to this Los Pumas team? Now in the back line, Garcia at number 9, he actually changed my opinion of him against the All Blacks. I thought he did very well. I was giving him a bit of a hard time before that. I think he's a bit of a Finlay Christie. He's got a very slow distribution from the base of the scrum, but he didn't get caught out against the All Blacks. So let's see how he goes against the Wallabies in Australia. And then Santiago Carreras is going to be back into the number 10 jersey. We saw a brilliant performance, didn't we, from him against the All Blacks in Buenos Aires not so long ago. And then outside, the old centres that we're used to, Santiago Chocobaris and Cinti in the 12 and 13. On the wings, we're going to see Mateo Carreras, and on the other wing, we're going to see Delgi and Malia at fullback. This is a very good Argentine team. I think they're going to really push the Australians at home, and I think this first test is going to be the key to the 2-test series in Australia. I think the team that gets the win this weekend is going to have that momentum going into the second game, but more on that in a moment. Let's have a look at the Wallabies lineup. And Joe Schmidt's a little bit fortunate here. He's got a couple of players back from injury, and as a result of that, he has changed the team around a little bit. So let's look in the forwards, and there's no James Slipper. He's away with injury still. And what is he, 149 caps or something now, so who knows when James Slipper's going to be back. But in the front row, we're going to see Robertson, who I thought did a very good job against the Springboks, being dumped into the deep end then. And then we're going to see Pollard, and we're going to see Taniela Tupou again. So these guys on paper should have it over the Argentines, but don't count the Argentines out in the front row. I think the scrum battle is going to be really interesting. Now, there's no Will Skelton for Australia. He's gone back to La Rochelle. So in the locks this week, we're going to see Nick Frost as per usual, but his buddy's going to be Tom Hooper this week. And this is an interesting change up for me. I think Joe Schmidt started to change his mind about Tom Hooper. He's seen the guy really grow into this team, and now he's giving him a chance to show his versatility by putting him in the number 5 jersey this weekend. And then the back three for Australia are really, really good. We've got Rob Valentini, Fraser McWright, and Harry Wilson is back. And I can hear all the fans from Australia cheering from here. Their leader is back on the field. It seems as though he's got over that knee injury. Let's hope he's able to go the whole 80 in this game. And who knows, he might score a couple of more tries like he did against the Springboks. So a very good pack for Australia. I don't think they've lost too much here with Will Skelton out. In fact, I think they've gained a bit of mobility with Tom Hooper. So I think there's a nice balance and equilibrium there to this Australian back. I can't wait to see the Lucy battle in this game. I want to see how Fraser McWright, Rob Valentini and Harry Wilson go against Matera, Creamer and Juan Martin Gonzalez. That's going to be one of the battles of this particular game. And then in the back line, well, Nick White hasn't retired, everybody. He's back. He's playing for the Wallabies. He's in the number 9 jersey, and let's see whether he gives the ref a bit of cheek this weekend. If he does, let's hope he gets penalised for it. And then in the number 10 jersey, we've got Tom Lynagh back. You'll remember that he played against the British and Irish Lions until he got concussed. He didn't go to South Africa. James O'Connor was the hero and the zero over there, and I think he's been punished for his kicking in that second game, and we're seeing Tom Lynagh come back into the lineup for the Wallabies. Now, this is a bit of a risk for me as far as Joe Schmidt goes, but he knows a lot more about what he's doing than I do. So I'll go along with Joe Schmidt and hope Tom Lynagh can fit into this play that Australia are adopting, which is their expansive open game. He's going to be reliant on getting that ball out to Len Ekitau and Joseph Sua-Ali, who are going to be the 12 and 13 in this team for the Wallabies. And then on the wings, we're going to see Max Jorgensen and Corey Toole again. I thought Toole had a brilliant debut against the Springboks. He earned his right to be back in this team. And aren't the Aussies lucky with their wingers at the moment? They've got Dylan Peach as well. And they've got Harry Potter, who's fit again, but can't get back into this team. And it wasn't that long ago that we were singing the praises of Harry Potter on the wing for Australia. So Australia's got an abundance of great wingers at the moment. Maybe they can lend a couple to the All Blacks, because we need a few over the Tasman Sea if they can afford to give us some. And then at fullback, we've got Tom Wright out with his ACL for the next 9 to 12 months, unfortunately for the Wallabies. But Andrew Callaway's going to fill that spot for now. He was the obvious choice for me as well, going into the number 15 jersey. So there's the starting 15 for the Wallabies. What do I think? I think it's a damn good team. Are they going to give the Pumas a hard time? Yes, I think so. But I think the Pumas are going to give the Wallabies a hard time as well. This is going to be a really, really extraordinary game, and it could be a very high-scoring game as well. So don't count anything out in Townsville on a hot Saturday afternoon with a kickoff at 2:30. Now, you're probably wanting to know who's on the bench for each team, so I'll go through those for you right now. Now, for Australia in the forwards, we're going to see Amosa, Bell and Nongor. Those are the ones that we've been seeing of late. I'm a big fan of Angus Bell. Of course, he does some great stuff around the field in general play. Look out for him to score a try. He's always good for that. He's a bit of a Malcolm Marx, isn't he? He gets over the try line quite a bit, does Angus Bell. And if he's not scoring tries, he's setting up wonderful play for his backline. So, yeah, I'm a real big fan of Angus Bell. And then the other two forwards for Australia is we're going to see Jeremy Williams back again, and we're going to see Carlos Tizano, who we haven't seen since the Lions series. He had a bit of an issue with all the online abuse he was getting over social media. So Joe Schmidt had given him a bit of a welfare break, which I think was the right thing to do. He didn't play in the games in South Africa, although he was there with the squad. But Tizano comes back into the Wallabies on the bench this weekend. And then the backs for the Wallabies, we're going to see Tate McDermott again, the halfback, the winger, the fullback. The guy can play everywhere. He's been playing exceptional rugby this year. One of Australia's standout players for me so far, Tate McDermott. And then the other two backs for Australia, James O'Connor and Darganu. And yeah, I'm not too keen on Darganu, but this is where Australia's getting tested with its depth. I think having James O'Connor on the bench is a good one. If Tom Lynagh starts to go astray, he can bring O'Connor on, and that could open up the game even more for Australia if Tom Lynagh is not able to do that. So there we go. That's the 23 for Australia. A damn good team, except for probably Darganu. I'm not a big fan of. Don't rate him too much in this team, but Joe Schmidt's going to the bottom of the cellar as far as available players go for this Wallabies team. And I think the rest of the team's good enough to do the job against the Pumas. Okay, let's have a look at the reserves for the Pumas, and they've gone for a 6-2 split, so this is interesting from Contaponi, and we're going to see Ruaz, Wenger, and Marchetti. Great to see Wenger in there for sure. And then we're going to see Petty, Oviedo and Moyano. So the forwards are going to do the job for this Pumas team. And I think Contaponi, what he's thinking here is we need to get ball. And if we can get ball, we can give our backs a good go at these Aussies and see how fragile their backline defence is. So I think this is a good strategic move from Contaponi, putting a 6-2 split in. So off the bench for the Pumas in the back, we're going to see Presicantali and Alizadaudi. I probably butchered those names, but you'll be able to tell me what they are. I haven't seen either of those guys play, so I cannot tell you anything about it. But Presicantali, I think, has been touted as the next superstar of Los Pumas backline. So let's see if that's the case. I'm sure the Los Pumas fans in the chat can tell me all about him, so I look forward to it. Now, what do I think is going to happen in this game? Well, first of all, I think it could be a high-scoring game. I think both teams are going to give it a go. And I think the fact that Contaponi's gone for a 6-2 split is showing us that he wants to make sure he's got plenty of possession in the second half to keep the game going. So if the Pumas are chasing the game in the second half, he's going to make sure that bench gives them a good chance to win ball and therefore get territory and get down there and try and put the Aussies under pressure. What are the big concerns in the Aussie team? Well, their defence is still fragile, in my opinion. Let's see how they go in this game. This is why I think the Pumas can score a number of tries against this Aussie team. But the Aussies, as we know, they're just as good on attack. I think they will miss Tom Wright in some aspects of this game. But those wingers, Corey Toole and Max Jorgensen, watch out for them. I see them scoring a couple of tries, maybe each, in this particular game. Now, earlier in the week, I said I see the Pumas winning perhaps 2 games in Australia. I know that's a big call, but trust me, I think this Pumas team is turning the corner when it comes to their consistency. So I'm going to stick with it. I think the Pumas will win this first game in Townsville. I think it's their best chance of winning either game in Australia. And the reason for that is when the Australians get to Sydney, they're going to have their faithful rugby union crowd behind them. Up there in Far North Queensland, it's more of a rugby league community. I think the venue being more neutral is going to suit the Pumas as well. And as long as they can adjust to the heat and they don't get too tired in the second half, then I think the Pumas will take this one. But I think it'll be close. So a score like 32-28 or 33-29 or something like that. It could be really, really close with a lot of points scored. But either way, I think we're going to get a really entertaining game. Don't forget, this is the entree to the big main course this weekend, which of course is the All Blacks against the Springboks. But do not underestimate the importance of this game in Townsville. It could possibly see the winner of the Rugby Championship in 2025 as a result of this particular win this weekend. I wouldn't be surprised also if a draw's on the card in this game, a high-scoring draw. It could be that exciting. So let's hope we get a really good, fast, entertaining game. It's sure to be sunny and warm up there in Townsville for this game. The ground's going to be in hard condition. How will the Pumas adjust coming out of their cold, wintry type conditions in Argentina that they've been used to so far this season? I think they'll do pretty well. Now, it's going to be good to see how those positional changes are going to work for Joe Schmidt. I'm going to be watching Tom Hooper at lock this weekend as well and see how he goes. How's Tom Liner going to go coming back into this Wallaby setup? And is Harry Wilson's knee actually 100%? Well, we're going to find out in this game, that's for sure. Let's see if the Aussies can tighten up their defensive line a little bit. I think that'll go a long way to telling us who's going to win this game. And the Pumas, well, can Santiago Carreras have the type of game that he had against the All Blacks? And can that back three for the Pumas, Juan Martin Gonzalez, Marcos Crema and Pablo Matera, can they have a really big game? That guy in the background thinks so. Yes, he likes Pablo Matera. So there you go. I'm calling it a close win to the Pumas in this one. A high-scoring game, an entertaining game, and a game that's going to get everybody excited for what comes after it with the All Blacks and the South Africans. Now, if you're an Aussie or you're a Argentine fan watching this video, thank you very much for your support. Let me know how your team's going to go in the weekend. I'd love to have your thoughts. And do you think whoever wins this weekend is going to go on and get a clean sweep in this Australian mini-series? Or do you think it's going to end up 1-1? That's the other thing that I'm thinking of as well. Okay, so that's it for this video. Remember, if you like my content, hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and get ready for what is going to be an absolutely sensational weekend of Rugby Championship Rugby. Thank you for tuning in to Inside Rugby with Mark from all across the world, and I'll see you again really soon when you least expect it. Okay, bye for now, everyone, from beautiful Mexico.